Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, October 18th, 2013. Well, the Democrats think they won the big debt ceiling budget battle, and they did in the short term, but not in the long term. And we all lost here in the long term. I mean, we take in $1 trillion, we spend, I should say, $1 trillion more than we take in every year. $1 trillion. Yes, I know the Obama administration says, hey, you know, we cut this annual deficit down to $700 billion. That's a one-off accounting trick. We're spending more than we take in by $1 trillion a year. And if you account for what we get on the hook for, we're on the hook for $5 to $7 trillion a year. Medicaid, Medicare, Obamacare, bank bailouts, all that. We're on the hook for. That's unsustainable. $1 trillion a year is unsustainable. That's like some guy, basically making $100,000 a year and spending $128,000 a year. It's just unsustainable. And tough choices need to be made. I mean, they did get a small tax increase out of the Republicans not long ago, $600 billion a year. We spent that, boom, on Sandy Hook with $60 billion in 1 year. It's $600 billion over 10 years. But deep cuts need to be made. And nobody in Washington, particularly the Democrats, want to do this. They're expanding, they're giving this big entitlement, Obamacare. They want to spend more money. And what this brings us back to is what we had in 2011. The Democrats want to raise taxes. The Republicans want to make cuts. The Democrats want to raise taxes on people who don't vote for them and give it to people who do. And the Republicans want to cut things for people who don't vote for them and not cut things and want to have let people keep their income for people who do vote for them. That's basically what we're down to. One side wants to raise taxes. One side wants to make cuts. We really probably need a little of both. More cutting than we need anything else. Of course, the Keynesians say, oh, no, it's not time to cut. It'll implode the economy. We just going to keep growing this to infinity? We can't. If we don't fix this, and we're not going to, ultimately the market will call BS on the BS, and the market is cruel. Maybe this is why China has come out this week and said it wants to remove the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. They want to get rid of it, get away from it. You know what happens when the U.S. dollar is no longer the world's reserve currency? The money printing, bye, we're Argentina. We're not going to be able to do that. And another little tidbit that came out, Chase Bank, J.P. Morgan Chase, came out with capital controls that they're announcing that they're going to restrict how much cash you can get out, $50,000. And they're going to restrict international wire transfers. What happened in Cyprus? Didn't they all of a sudden one day restrict how much money you could take out of the bank? What are they getting ready for? Why are they doing that? The biggest problem is we're spending way more than we take in each and every year. And here's another reason why the Democrats didn't win. After all this dust settles, after all this goes away, and listen, the public has a very short-term memory. We're going to be faced with an economy that has to be propped up. Remember, we're spending $85 billion every month. It's not because the economy's good. Remember, we have 0% interest rates as far as the eye can see. That's not because the economy's good. And we're still going to have Obamacare. Oh, and another thing, foreigners are going to have to continue to lap up our debt while we're spending more and more and more every year, and also not sell our debt. But back to Obamacare. This thing is a job killer. When the Republicans say that, it's real. People's hours have been cut. It's also it's taking money out of families. Their premiums are doubling and tripling. And people are going to be shocked at how much this is really going to cost. When this thing, the other thing is the electronic rollout, which is a disaster. Like I think 1% or so of the people who tried to enroll actually enrolled. But that probably helps the Democrats because when everybody finds out, finally when everybody knows, oh, I'm going to be paying how much for health care and I get what? You're going to pay more in most cases and get less. And for poor people, the deductibles are going to be $4,000 or $5,000, per individual, and copay is going to be $50. And as far as the subsidies, We're just going to go to a subsidy tree. And let's come back to the people holding our debt. So we're going to borrow and print more money to hand out to people to vote for a certain party? Really? And they're going to hold our debt? No. I find it hard to believe. Would you hold a 10-year Treasury bond if you were watching what was going on in Washington, that they're not going to fix this? They're not going to get things under control. President wants to. He's making, good speeches saying, we need to take a look at the long-term, solvency of the nation. No, they're not going to do that. They haven't done that. They're not going to do that. They're really not. And so when this thing comes fully to fruition, and young people, wanted to mention that, this plan hinges on, young people who don't need insurance to spend, $100, $120, $130 a month and buy insurance so the older population can, have a good deal on their insurance. No. I mean, young people are young. They're not stupid. And if young people don't get it, or if anybody doesn't get it, they're going to be taxed. They're going to be fined. And cap that with the IRS, who also wants an exemption from Obamacare. They're going to be taking care of this. But they would never, hand over your information and do you harm, like the IRS did with the Tea Party groups. Like them or not, that's a First Amendment issue. They're stopping people from organizing against the Democrats. That's outrageous. You haven't heard the end of that either. But by 2014, by mid-2014, this thing's going to stink, Obamacare. And by November of 2014, I guarantee you there are going to be Democrats running from it. There are also going to be Democrats saying, if you put me in, we'll fix Obamacare. It's a work in progress. This thing's going to be rancid. And the other thing that I heard on mainstream media is that, there wasn't a chance for them to take over the House, but now, there's a chance. No, there's not. No, stop. There's not a chance. That's delusional. In order for the Democrats to take over the House of Representatives, foreigners would have to continue to buy and hold our debt. That ain't going to happen. The economy would have to be recovering and doing pretty well. That's not happening. And Obamacare would have to work well and be a good deal. Come on. And they're going to take over the House? The Democrats? Please, stop. So what are the Democrats going to do? And this is what I'm picking up from, MSNBC and these other places. I'm starting to hear, racist, bigot. I'm thinking, whoa, they're going to flip over the race card. I mean, boy, this is going to get ugly. I guarantee you this is going to get ugly. They're saying that all Republicans are racist. Really, Condoleezza Rice? Really? All Republicans? Or what about the senator from South Carolina that's black? Really? All Republicans are racist? Colin Powell? Really? Republicans are racist? All of them are racist? That's outrageous. And this is coming from the far left, or, people I call the social fascists. And here's another one for you. Here's a op-ed piece by Leonard Pitts. He's with the Miami Herald. There you go. There's Leonard Pitts right here. Leonard Pitts, Miami Herald. And he wrote this about Dr. Ben Carson right here. And he says that, Ben Carson sinks to a new low because he dare criticize Obamacare. He actually compared it to slavery. Did Ben Carson, go over the top by, describing that Obamacare was like slavery? Maybe a little bit. But I think Leonard Pitts Jr. also went over the top, and he says basically that, that they hereby lend their racism a sheen of responsibility. The Republicans. Ben Carson lends their racism, the Republicans, a sheen of responsibility. So if you're white and you complain about Obamacare and a deficit that's, a chasm, and you think it's a bad deal and a job killer, well, you're a racist. You're doing it because the president's black. That's outrageous. And if you're black, like Dr. Ben Carson, how dare you criticize President Obama or any of his programs? I mean, Leonard Pitts Jr., who's also a African-American, he ought to be singing this guy's praises. I mean, he's the head of pediatric surgery at Johns Hopkins. He's a pediatric neurosurgeon, one of the top ones in the country. I think he's done pretty well for himself. I think he represents his race pretty well. But I think that this is going to get ugly because the Democrats are going to have nowhere to go. Economy's not going to do better. Foreigners are going to be selling our debt. That's probably going to cause a lot of inflation. And Obamacare is going to be a big, fat, rancid, stinking pile of steaming health care. There's no way that this is going to be good for the Democrats in 2014. And, I started laughing, oh, they're going to retake the House. Please stop. On to more pressing issues and a big story that slipped under the radar. And I got to tell you, and I want to bring this back into focus, Iran nuclear talks end with no breakthrough. So they're talking to Iran about their nuclear program, which Iran says is for the peaceful production of energy, right? And the West says, oh, no, it's not for the peaceful production of energy. And this is another one that came out a little earlier this week, is Iran wants a year to resolve the nuke issue. Iran wants a year to resolve the nuke issue. Not even the Obama administration is going to bite on that one. The West thinks, well, that's just time for them to make a bomb. And Israel is not going to give them a year to resolve that issue. And on top of that, and this is something I saw just in the local paper, AP story, calls grow for more sanctions on Iran. You think that these guys didn't get anything done with the whole debt ceiling thing, but no. There's people watching the international stuff, and they're mad that we're back to, we've had several of these meetings already, and nothing's happened over the last few years, and now Iran wants to call, and we want another year, and Israel says no, that's going to give them time to build a bomb. And, listen, I'm not for or against either side. I'm just telling you what's coming down. And Israel is not going to give them a year. And I don't think the West is going to give Iran a year, which is pretty ominous. And it's just something that you need to keep an eye on. That's a big deal. And any attack on Iran, whether you're for it or against it, is going to be a global calamity. It's going to melt the markets down without question. Oil's going to shoot up, $150, $200, $300 a barrel? Who knows how bad it would get if Iran is attacked. And that's what's really back in the spotlight. That we're coming to the end of the road on talks over Iran's nuclear program. Whether you're for it or against it, I'm just telling you what's coming down the pipe. And that's probably going to be in 2014, if not early 2015. But I don't think the West, I don't think Israel is going to give Iran a year. I hope we can avoid war. But the pressure is still out there, and we still have a huge problem. It's just on a simmer right now, but it could boil up at any time. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USA Watchdog. Thank you for using the donations button. Have a nice weekend.